Come, Nerevar, come. Gaze upon the antagonists of Skyrim factions. Some are more impressive than others, but without further ado, let's begin this sermon and honor the Sixth House and the Tribe Unmourned. As should you, Nerevar. You will notice that Skyrim factions follow the principle of the fact that they are all their own worst enemies. While that trope is valid and can be interesting, it is so overused in Skyrim it becomes predictable. If that's how factions operate in this Nord freezer, then what is the point of these factions? We begin with the Companions, and their primary enemy is apparently a larger version of Summon, a familiar wolf. It is Kodlak Whitemane's wolf spirit because, of course, the Companions and wolves and werewolves and their farm tool fur suits. Anyhow, the Dragonborn fights the wolf spirit in the tomb of that Nord Enwa they call a hero, Isgramor, was it? After that fight, the Dragonborn becomes the leader of the Companions, and even has the option to stop being a furry. Why would the Dragonborn join the Companions anyway? They are the most boring faction in Skyrim. Even the College has more to offer. I'm getting ahead of myself, though. They also have another antagonist named Krev the Skinner, the leader of the Silverhand, which is a rival faction to the Companions. And what can I say about Krev? They can be an orc, Redguard, Nord, or a mongrel dog of the Empire. I have no idea what the reason is for Krev to shapeshift, and I don't care to find out. Let other Enwas explore this concept in 3-hour lore documentaries. The next faction antagonists I would like to speak about are the College of Winterhold. Of course, Ancano, the member of the Thalmor who has basically infiltrated the college, is the villain here. He treats the Dragonborn the same way Severus Snape treats Harry, but unlike Severus, he is actually evil and wants to harness the power of the Eye of Magnus. Well, the Dragonborn defeats him and saves the day, the end. Oh, however, there is this secondary antagonist in this whole mess. Morokai, the Dragon Priest, possesses the Staff of Magnus. Defeating him is just a fetch quest, but you do have to go through the quagmire that is the Labyrinthian, so that is a drawback there. The Thieves Guild has an interesting story. At first, you are led to believe that the main antagonist of your adventure is this Dunmer girl named Carlia. The Enwa Mercer Frey tricks you into believing that she betrayed the guild. She is a member of the House Indoril, the same as you, Nerevar, and is rumored to be the granddaughter of Queen Berenzia and the descendant of you, Nerevar. In any case, she is a part of the Nightingales, and while I don't particularly like Berenzia, I can respect a Dunmer. I can't say the same thing about Mercer Frey. He is supposed to be the Dragonborn's go-to person in the guild, but what does he do? He betrays the guild and steals all of its assets, as well as poisons the Dragonborn, leaving the demigod for dead. Once again, it is up to a Dunmer to save the day and save the Dragonborn's life. You get to destroy him right as he is looting the eyes of the Falmer. You get to take the skeleton key from him as well. He makes a good antagonist, but overall he is one of the most awful Enwas you'll ever meet in Skyrim. The Dark Brotherhood in Skyrim has 2 antagonists. First it is, of course, Commander Maro, who is in charge of the Pendulus Oculatus, the more competent version of the Blades. No wonder they were replaced. If the Dragonborn doesn't help him expose the Dark Brotherhood, he is unable to handle it himself. Then, as there is an active threat of the Dark Brotherhood, he lets his son travel around Skyrim, almost completely exposed. What a grand and intoxicating innocence. What a fool he is. Does he really not expect the Dragonborn to completely annihilate his son? He would not have figured it out if it was the Dragonborn had the other antagonist, the leader of the Dark Brotherhood herself, Astrid, not turned their own family member in. Astrid is undoubtedly one of the most problematic characters. She sabotages the whole Brotherhood, causing the petulant Oculatus to attack the Falkreath Sanctuary and destroy the Brotherhood just because she had a personal vendetta against the Dragonborn and was too power-hungry to see the dangers of talking to the mongrel dogs of the Empire. She eventually becomes the black sacrament for the mongrel dog emperor contract. Also, yes, I called those mongrel dogs Petulant Oculatus. Write down on the parchment below Petulant Oculatus to honor the Sixth House and the Tribe Unmourned. If you can even call the Bard's College a faction, their antagonist is some Dagoth Ur named Olaf One-Eye. Last time I checked, he had 2 eyes, but Nord-Enwas are really creative with their names. He has 1 eye in Sovngarde, but as a Draugr, he has 2. They even burn his effigy during their Culti festival. Apparently he is also the only Draugr to speak Tamrielic. In any case, a minor antagonist for a minor faction. Ah, the Telvanni. While I do respect House Telvanni and its commitment to treating farm tools, as well as doing magical experiments, that does not mean I don't hold a grudge against them for betraying the Sixth House. Anyhow, Neloth's failed Dunmer experiment was to replace his own heart with a heart stone. However, he wanted to experiment on his apprentice named Idari Sarothril, a power-hungry mage. Well, she died as a result of this experiment, or so Neloth thought. The experiment was somewhat of a success. I mean, she was alive and casting necromancer magic, creating ash spawn after ash spawn, even though allegedly she was in a great amount of pain. In any case, the Dragonborn and Neloth defeat her and live happily ever after. What is the lesson from all of this nonsense? Don't experiment on your apprentices, especially on your non-Enwa Dunmer apprentices. Do it with farm tools instead. They don't have the brain power to become necromancers. Seriously, have you ever seen an Argonian or Khajiit necromancer? If you have, write it down on the parchment below. So, depending on which side the Dragonborn joins, he has two absolutely awful antagonist choices. The choices are the mongrel dog of the Empire, General Tulius, who wants to keep the Empire together, and his Nord lackey Legate Ricka, who secretly worships Talos. The other choice as an antagonist that the Dragonborn has is Enwa Nord, Ulfric Stormcloak, and Grandpa Max. Oh, sorry, I mean Galmar Stonefist. He just sounds like Grandpa Max. While I understand why serving the Empire could be seen as the better choice since Ulfric Stormcloak is denser than a giant, but why would anyone serve the faction that tried to execute you? Your moral justification for serving the mongrel dogs go out the window the moment you are sentenced to death. Either way, both sides do not honor the Sixth House and the Tribe Unmourned. The Dragonborn was deprived of the right of becoming Tiber Septim. Side note before I finish, in the Dawnguard DLC, the Dragonborn may side with the Dawnguard or the Voikhar Clan. If the Dragonborn sides with the Dawnguard or the Voikhar Clan, the primary antagonist is still Harkon, because, let's face it, no one likes Harkon. Not his family, not his clan, not even Harkon likes Harkon. However, after defeating Harkon and becoming the leader of the Voikhar Clan, the Dragonborn has the right to destroy the Dawnguard. In that case, Isran becomes the antagonist. Well, he's not that difficult to deal with. He's just a vampire-hating fanatic following a false god. That is it for this sermon. Thank you for listening. Please don't forget to honor the Sixth House and the Tribe Unmourned, or I will send an ash zombie to your house, just like I did last time. I will see you in the next one.